Hi, hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Veronica and I'm a big lover of makeup, so if you want to see more reviews, looks and more fun videos, don't forget to subscribe. In today's video we are gonna rank all the palettes that I tested in 2022, so if you're curious about that, please keep on watching. I really hope that I don't have something in my teeth because I just ate some dried plums and they were amazing, but it's almost 3 p.m. and I didn't eat anything else than the plums, so I need to eat something. I've just been editing the favorites for 2022 and let me tell you, that video was 1 hour and 45 or 48 minutes and now it is 45 minutes. It will be the final time probably. 45 minutes, that is a very long video, but it is what it is. I had a bunch of products to mention and I am talking too much. So let's start with this ranking of the palettes. I do have 11 palettes. Not all of them were released this year. I just bought them this year. That's the reason I'm calling this video ranking all of the palettes that I tested this year, because not all of them were released this year. I didn't film this makeup, but I will list, like usual, all the things that I have on my face. Let's start from the bottom, and I will actually put a picture with this one because in January I purchased the Essence Bronzy Sway palette and I did declutter it. Next year I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I will declutter only at the end of the year, or maybe I will do a declutter in the middle of the year, but it will be a bigger video with only decluttering products. So I did declutter this palette, and it's not because the palette is bad quality or something like that, but it was a pretty basic palette with some bronzy shades. It was a decent quality palette, but it was not my favorite, and because the color story was very boring, I did declutter it. Then on number 10 I do have this Illamasqua, and I'm gonna try to pronounce this name again, Exerimental Artistry palette. That is pretty impossible for me to pronounce, but anyway, I tried it. This is a full rainbow palette. The matte formula in here, it is pretty decent, but it's not blowing me away, and it is a full matte a rainbow palette, so because of that, it is on the lower side of this ranking. Is nothing special about it. And on number 9, we do have the LH Cosmetics Daybreak palette, and I really love this format. I am a bit disappointed just because I really like the owner of this brand, Linda Halberry. I don't know if I can pronounce her last name, but she's very talented. She's very beautiful and I love her as a brand owner, but this is not my perfect color story and not the perfect formulas in here, but I love this compact format of the palette. But sadly, this purple and this pink, they are duds in my opinion. They are satiny shades, so they are not mattes and not shimmers, so I don't really see the point of them. And this pink, it's pretty gray leaning, so not very flattering, as well as this gray. I do like that this black and this gray are water activated liners as well, but from this 9 pan I could only use this neutral, the black, and then the last row, because these three are pretty nice. This is a pretty pigmented blue in my opinion, and these two shimmers are really beautiful shimmers, but the rest of them are a bit disappointing. So that's the reason this is a bit lower. Next we have the Ultimate Utopia palette from NYX, and first of all, this packaging is awful. It is plastic. I am waiting for this to break because it is pretty cheap packaging. I love this color story. It is so beautiful, and this palette as well, it is pretty slim and pretty compact, which I really like. But sadly, this shimmer formula is just very hard to work with. It is very flaky. You need to wet your brush, apply some glitter glue as well maybe. I hope at some point NYX will improve the shimmer formula, just adds a bit of binders in there or something like that, just to keep the shimmer together. But overall I do like the color story and the mattes are pretty good, but because the shimmers are not great, that's the reason the palette is a bit lower. In the number 7 we have the Gal on the Moon from GlossGods, and this is an indie brand from Sweden. and I really like this one. It is a full shimmer palette. The quality of this, it is pretty nice. I do like it, except this harder pressed shades. They are just not that special. They are still duochrome or stuff like that, but I just don't love that formula that much. But the rest of them I do like, and they are beautiful shimmers, multichromes or duochromes, and they are a bit flaky as well, but not like these ones, and they are very beautiful. I do like this palette, but because it is a full shimmery palette, that's the reason it is lower. For number 6, I do have the Sigma Untamed palette, and I did test this one in January or something like that. I was very curious about the Sigma formula, and the formula, it is pretty nice. I do like this formula, but this palette is just a bit too dark for my skin tone, which is totally fine. Not all palettes needs to be for my skin tone, of course, but because of that, I'm not reaching for it. And this quaddy here is not really my favorite. This is a satiny shade, which, like I mentioned before, I don't love. This is a bit too dark for my skin tone, so I can't use it in the crease as a transition, and it is a more grayish shade. This one is a bit harder pressed, so again, not that impressive. And this blue, even though it is very beautiful, it is a bit dark, and I don't have other shade to match with this one, except maybe the pink and the black. So this quaddy here, it is a bit strange for this arrangement of shades, but overall I do like the quality of this. It's just not my perfect color story. In the spot number 5, we have the Natasha Denona Pastel palette, and this palette, it is very good quality. I really like it, but it's not my perfect pastel palette. I just prefer the Lost in Los Angeles from BH Cosmetics, and that one is a lot more affordable as well. But this palette has really beautiful shades. The shimmers in this palette are really nice. I do like them, but the mattes are not all perfect. This Bora shade, it is pretty sheer, and this Airy and Feather, they are both the normal matte formula, so you need to use them with the other shades that are the same but cream to powders, so Bubble and Tulle, just to get something a bit more pigmented. But overall I do like the color story, and I think this is a pretty good pastel palette. It's just not my favorite. In the 4th spot, we do have Nimya the palette, and this is a pretty neutral palette but with some twists. You have these two blue shades and this very beautiful orange, and I do like the shimmers as well and the mattes as well. This is a pretty good palette. I am impressed, and the mattes are pretty creamy. I did use this palette to create this eye look today, and the shimmers are from GlossGods. But overall I do really like this palette. I think the color story is nice, the formulas are nice, so this is the 4th spot, and I think it is a really nice palette. In the 3rd spot, we have the Natasha Denona My Dream palette, and I really like this palette. The quality is very great. All of these shades are very nice, and you do get this multichrome here and these colorful shades as well as a black, and you get this purple. It's not a purple, it is an orange. You get this orange shimmer. It is very beautiful. I really like this palette. It is very well made, and the quality is very great, so it is a really nice one. And on spot number 2, we do have the Hela palette. This is the Angelica and Oden collaboration, and this palette is just very colorful and I really love it, and it is very good quality as well. This yellow in here is amazing. It is very pigmented, so I reached for this palette only to use the yellow a bunch of times. The dark shade, it is very blendable and very dark. It has this very interesting black shimmer, and the multichrome in here is very nice. This is a duochrome. The greens are very beautiful. I really like this palette. It is very well made, and the shades are very stunning and very pigmented, very easy to blend. I really like this palette. And for the number 1, we have the ABH Nouveau. I really like this palette. First of all, I do like the packaging. It is pretty slim, compact, and I like the feel of the palette. I love this color story. I love this quality. Everything about it, it is just amazing. Again, we do have some greens as well. So I loved the greens from here. You get this very beautiful purple and it is very pigmented. So that is a very nice addition to this palette. So really you can do a neutral crease and then put peacock on the lid as a main shimmer and then wisteria in the inner corner, and you have a pretty colorful but still neutral and very interesting look. I really like that look. And this shimmer Lily, it is so beautiful. It is like a pinky neutral bronze shade, but it is so dimensional, so beautiful. And this Hope shade as well, the green, and these mattes as well are very, very good quality. So this palette is really impressive. It is so beautiful. I love it. Okay, so this was the video. So I hope you have wonderful holidays and a very happy new year. And if you like this video and you want to see more from me, please subscribe and give it a like, and I will see you next time.